Here's the finished product of stovetop fried cabbage. Let's get started.
Well, hi everybody, and welcome back to Kim's Kitchen. We are cooking cabbage today. So you might say, everybody knows how to cook cabbage. Well, yes, perhaps, but not everyone knows how to cook good cabbage. And that's what we are going to do today. So we have this big head of cabbage that we're going to just take apart. We're going to start doing it right away. Just going to take off the excess, the outer parts of the cabbage. Some people like to keep that on, but no, you just want to take that off. That's part of the underneath is part of the cleaner part of the cabbage. And you know, I purchased this cabbage well over a week ago. And as you can see, as I am unraveling it, the underside of the cabbage looks really good. Some parts of the cabbage, like there, it didn't even fall through. See, so it looks pretty clean. That's good. So now we're going to do a nice big cut. Now, if I was going to stuff the cabbage, I'd just round this hole out. But I'm not going to stuff the cabbage on this one. We're just going to cook the cabbage as is. So let's just decide how we're going to do that. Straight down the middle. Again, sharp knife. Stay away from it. And just go all the way around. It's a pretty heavy, nice, and healthy head of cabbage, which means that it is hard to cut, but no harder than I am trying to get this thing done with your lettuce, with your cabbage. Have I been saying lettuce? Cabbage is to hold it down like this. You can even cut it one more time. Just go ahead and bear down on it. And I might just forget all about this, but here we go. There we go. There we go. I keep saying there we go because I'm thinking I'm done already. So put it on a small angle. Take all of the loose pieces apart, and you just start. You have your colander right here, and you just start shredding. That's it. Just like that until you come all the way down. When you get small on that side, you start again. Fingers are, of course, behind the knife. And you just start shredding. When you get to this part, when you're close to it, you don't want to get too much to the inside of it. Some people like it. I don't. When you get part of here, you can take that out. You can even start to shred a little bit right here, but not much, because you get a different taste of the cabbage. I'm going to put that aside. This, I'll just a little bit, chop it up a little bit like that. And then you just want to go ahead and put that in your colander. Take that out, take that out, take that out. Put this in your colander. See, as I'm putting it all in my colander right here. Oh, you may want to know what this is. These are sweet potatoes. And some people like carrots in their cabbage. I do too, quite frankly. I like carrots in my cabbage as well. But today I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try having some sweet potatoes in my cabbage. Just going to see how it tastes. So I'm going to start. This will take a little bit longer to cook than the cabbage. So I'm going to start to cook this now. And although it is sweet potatoes, I'm going to add just a little bit of extra, just a pinch of brown sugar. Just to give it that final, maybe about a half of a teaspoonful. And that's that. Get it evenly in there. And you want to let that cook through. You want it to be soft and tender. So you're just gonna forget about it. I'm gonna let it cook. Now, back to my cabbage. We keep doing this until our cabbage is completely sliced. It's all nicely sliced up, very evenly. Now, I'm going to go ahead and wash this off, rinse it off, and then we're going to get ready for our next lesson in cooking our cabbage. Be right back. Okay, we're back. As you can see, the sweet potatoes are boiling vigorously. By the touch of it, I can tell that they are still pretty hard. But because they're boiling pretty fast and it's on medium heat, I'm still going to turn it down because I don't want it to cook too fast. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit low. A little bit lower. Let it just cook through. Slow it down just a little bit. And now we're ready to cook our cabbage. We have our cabbage nicely washed right here. And the pan is very hot, which is key in cooking cabbage. You want the pan to be very hot, and it is hot to touch. You just want to layer your pan with oil, not a lot, just enough to layer it. That's it. So we're just going to go ahead and you see the oil moving already, so you know it's pretty hot. I'm just going to swish it around. Swish it around, make sure it gets on every part of the pan here. All right. Okay, that's good. Of course, you'll know it's hot once you put something in it. It'll start to cook immediately. So the first thing I'm going to add, I already sliced up, and this is onions and peppers and mushrooms of what I had prepared for another dish. And because I don't want to waste it and I don't want to freeze it, I'm going to include this in my cabbage dish. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. It should start to, yep, you hear it. It's ready. I'm going to add that in there. Starting to cook already. That's good. You don't want a lot of oil. You want just enough oil so it'll catch. Just like that. I see a piece of onion that wasn't cut well. I wanted to cook well. I'm just going to cut that and take that off, that end off right there. Come on, there you go. Take that end off. I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. I don't need to wait for these to cook. Not too much longer. I'm going to add just a little bit more of oil for this batch because it's not as watery as our cabbage. And I see some peppers that are a little bit too long for what I want it for. I'm going to add some more oil. I'd say in total about a half a cup of oil that you might want. I'm going to go ahead and cut that a little bit, cut that a little bit, cut this pepper down. There we go, like that. Yep, that's one of the good things in having scissors, cooking scissors, because you can use them as you're cooking. You don't have to worry about using a knife when it's just too hot to cook, too hot to use the knife for. And at the same time, I'm keeping an eye on my sweet potatoes. Okay. Now, the wonderful thing I like about cabbage is that it's a water vegetable, which means you need very little, if at all, any water, because it makes its own water. And so I'm not even going to add any water to this at all. I'm just going to start dumping my cabbage right on top of my cooked, almost cooked vegetables. And then once I get enough of it on there, I'll swish it around. Keep your light high. That's the key. Don't turn your light down. Don't be afraid to let your cabbage cook fast. Because once it starts to cook, you don't want it to boil. I think that's one of the mistakes. Let me get that out of there. I think that's one of the mistakes that some of us make when we're cooking cabbage. We let it boil as opposed to cook and cook fast. And then when we're done, we have wilty cabbage. And we're saying, why is my cabbage so wilty and her cabbage looks so nice and taut? That's because this is the reason why right here. Now I'm going to add the rest of my seasonings. I'm going to swish my sweet potatoes around a little bit more. I feel that they're getting a little bit softer, which is perfect. I have my eye on them. I hear the cabbage, but I'm not going to turn it over just yet, although we are tempted to turn it over sooner than necessary. Let it cook down a little bit. I'm going to add, this doesn't necessarily have a taste, but it's a good garnish. I just love my sesame seeds. Here's a little bit of dash of salt. You add salt to your taste. Here's some thyme. You add some thyme to your taste. And finally, well, not finally, but I'm also going to add some basil. If you've seen my other videos, you know that one of my favorite seasonings is basil. I think I can put basil in just about anything and enjoy it. You can put basil in egg. Put them in when I cook eggs, and you'll see that in a minute. Okay, not today, but you will see it in one of my other cookings how I cook basil, with how I prepare my eggs with basil and other ingredients. So now, basically, you have all of your ingredients in here. I forgot pepper. I want to add that. I like my pepper. I'm going to add that in a minute. And then, once it gets done and it's not sticking, you can see that it's not sticking. It's cooking. And you can tell by this, the cabbage is cooking. It has even quieted down ever so slightly. The more it cooks, the more it will quiet down. As you notice, I haven't added a drop of water, not a drop. And look, it's fine. It's not sticking to the pan. The oil that we use, you can use any oil that you like. You can use olive oil, peanut oil, it doesn't matter. See, the reason why I don't like to use the bigger chunks is that it doesn't unchunk itself. So I'm going to take that out. I just like the nice leafy parts of the cabbage. And as you can see, it's still cooking. It's quieted down some. I still have not turned the heat down at all. I have not turned the heat down. It's quieting down and it is cooking. And so when I think I have mixed up every area of my pan, I'm then going to add some pepper. I'm almost ready to do that. And you can see the seasonings as they mix through with the pepper, and you can see the pepper rather and the different colors. One thing I like about my peppers is that it adds color to a dish. You can always use pepper in a dish if you want to add some color to it. And it's softening up, but it's not limp. And again, you'll notice that I did not add 1 ounce of water. Why? Because cabbage is a water vegetable. It carries its own water. So the more water you add with cabbage, the more tasteless your dish will be, because it has its own. Why add it if you don't need to? That's my thing, and it tastes that much more better. And so this is turning out to look absolutely delicious. Now, for taste purposes, you may feel as though you want to add some more salt. You may feel as though you want to add some more. Oh, speaking of pepper, let me add my pepper right now. And you got to be fast now, because you don't want one thing about this, now that you've decided to mix it up, you don't want to have it cook on one side too long. You want to get the top and the bottom of your cabbage cooked evenly. That too is another great aspect of cooking a delicious cabbage entree. Now, you might be wondering, how do I get all these ideas? I have to tell you, I think I told you in one of my other videos that my mom, she is an expert in cooking, and everyone loves her cooking. And when she was cooking and I was living there with them, she may not have realized that I was paying attention. And so now here I am, and she taught me how to cook an extra delicious head of cabbage, and not to over. Now, you know what? This is just about done. So I'm not going to cook this too much longer. I'm going to swish this around just a little bit more, and then I'm going to turn the light out. Oh, what I meant to say was that I'm going to have Mom come one day, and I'll hold the camera, and she'll be my guest, and I'm going to have her cook one of her famous dishes. I asked, and she gave me permission. So you'll know it, because I'm going to give you some, those of you tuning in, I will let you know. Okay, I'm busy talking and I'm not paying attention. Listen, I'm going to turn this out. I'm going to unplug. This has cooked enough. You hear it die down. This is fine because it's going to keep cooking. That's the thing. It's going to keep cooking, but you don't want it to overcook. There we go. Yeah, it's done. See? Delicious cabbage. And this is how you cook a delicious head of cabbage with peppers and onions and mushrooms and any other seasonings that you might like. I added thyme to this. I added some sesame seeds, which was really just a garnish. I just love sesame seeds. I like to see it on my plate. It's kind of tasteless, but all right. And there, look, see, look at the bottom of this pan. Can you see how you can still see a little bit of water, not a lot? And if I would have had added water in here, there you go, there's a better picture of it. See that? Look at that water. It's water and oil mixed together. Had I added water, it just would not have looked good. It would have been a little bit more limpier. All right, if that's such a word. Let's do limp. Well, there you have it. My sweet potatoes are almost done. Oh yeah, you can feel the difference. Plus they've swelled up a little bit. So I'm going to turn that light out. And then when I come back, I will add the sweet potatoes onto the cabbage just to give it an extra look and taste. And here you have it. This is the cabbage, fresh cabbage with peppers and onions and mushrooms and added sweet potatoes. Well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and taste it. I put some right here in my bowl for you, and I'm going to taste it, and I'm going to tell you what it tastes like. Did you hear that crunch? That's because the way that we cooked it today. We did not add any water. We added just enough oil to spread around the pan, and that's it. The rest of the work, the cabbage did itself. Boy, was that delicious, if I say so myself. So listen, go ahead and try this for yourself. You can add the sweet potatoes or not, but I do encourage you to add the other ingredients that we used, including the peppers and the green pepper, the red, the green, the orange, the yellow peppers. Oh, and one more thing. When I tasted the cabbage just then, I did not taste the sweet potato. I just had the cabbage itself, the crunchiness of it all. And what I found was that it was sweet. And I said, why is that so sweet? But I remembered this red pepper, There must be another red pepper, and I know that I have orange and yellow red peppers in here as well. And that certainly sweetens the food without you putting any other kind of sweetener in here. So if you'd like to have a taste for sweet potatoes, then go ahead and put that in there. You know, you can also put another vegetable in there. If you want additional color, you don't have to put sweet potato. You could put carrots. Yeah, sure. But I want to boil the carrots so that they're soft and mushy. But you want to boil the carrots so that it has a nice, not too crispy, but a done taste, but not mushy taste. Go ahead and add a carrot even. Not a sweet potato, but just a carrot. Either one is fine or none. It adds to the look of the dish. And as you know, I love color. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in to Kim's Kitchen. And definitely go ahead and like and comment and subscribe so you'll know the next time when something else comes down from Kim's Kitchen. And from my kitchen to yours, make it a great day.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's presentation of Kim's stovetop fried cabbage. Click on the bell so you'll get notified when I come back. Try cooking this yourself and comment how it turned out. Okay, bye.